So good afternoon, everyone. Robert Jansen, Chief Medical Officer. I want to give you a brief update on the status of our four victims from the shooting the other day. So good news, everybody's doing very well. Two remain in the ICU. Both of them had surgery yesterday that was successful, and we're very pleased with their progress. One of the patients who was in the ICU is in the process of being moved out right now. She did remain in the ICU yesterday, just out of an abundance of precaution, but she's doing very well and is moving to one of the surgical floors this morning. And then one of the victims is actually going home, which we're pleased to see. She's doing very, very well. So very glad to be able to report that all four are doing well. Two, once again, remain in the ICU. One is being transferred to the surgical floor, and one is actually going home.
And so the person going home, is that someone who's been in ICU, or is that the fourth?
No, that was the fourth. That was the fourth who was never in the ICU.
You guys have been working around the clock to be able to treat all four of these individuals who unfortunately dealt with the shooting on Wednesday. I mean, for the doctors up on the floors dealing with them, this has got to be some good news that there's so much improvement.
Oh yeah, this is great news. Unfortunately, when you have this type of trauma, it doesn't always go this well. But our staff has done a great job. The physicians, the nurses, they're being seen by physical therapy now. So great progress.
Dr. Jansen, I know HIPAA prevents you from giving too much detail, but the patient who's going home, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to speak with her. If so, can you just tell us about her emotions, her thoughts, anything maybe share with you that you can share with us?
Yeah, you know, the trauma from a gunshot wound is not just physical. It's psychological and emotional, and I don't think you can underestimate that impact. She's had a hard time adjusting. I mean, it's hard to go from a normal life to suddenly have something like this happen at work, and you have to deal with that. And so the post-traumatic stress is real, and it's going to impact all of them, and we know that. So she will have some adjustment, but she's doing very well.
I know yesterday you spoke to us and told us that you've only spoken to two of the four victims. I assume now you've had an opportunity to speak to all four.
Yeah, we've spoken to all of either the victims or their families every day, and yeah, we have.
Are you able to just talk about, we're not inside there, go through such a traumatic event like this, and then you're starting to realize as the days pass what happened there.
Right.
Are they all conscious of what happened?
Yeah, every one of them knows what happened, and they know it, their families know it. They are very grateful for the care they've received. All the families and the patients have expressed that gratitude and an acknowledgement that, Grady has some unique abilities that I think we need to all appreciate and acknowledge because, most facilities could not handle this type of, they're not set up for it. They're not designed. That's what we do, and we do it every day, and we do it very well.
Dr. Jansen, this happened just up the street in Midtown.
Yes.
This could have happened anywhere in the Metro Atlanta area. Do you think that played a role with how close it was, the positive outcomes you guys are getting with the four patients here?
Well, every minute counts in these type of injuries, and so certainly close proximity helps. It's hard to say whether they'd had to travel at greater distance if it had had an impact on their outcomes. They were all, three were in critical condition when they got here, but they were quickly stabilized, and time does matter.
What would you say to your team that has been working around the clock for these four individuals?
The great thing about this team is they do this day in and day out. These four victims are just a number that we've taken care of over time, and every time someone gets better, it's a testament to their work, and every time something doesn't go well, it's devastating. Unfortunately, in this circumstance, things have thus far gone very well.
Dr. Jansen, just to be clear, the victim who's been the most serious, she is able to talk now? You've been able to
Yes,
talk?
all four can talk now.
Sorry to make you repeat yourself one more time. If you could just reiterate that two are now, just again, one's going home, two's remaining critical, and one's going
So 2 remain in the ICU in critical condition. 1 is being transferred from the ICU to the surgical floor, so they have improved significantly, and then 1 is going home.
What have you learned? I mean, you guys, some of the top medical staff in the country here, you guys deal with gunshot victims all the time, but in an event like this, I mean, is it too early? Can you reflect on what you guys have learned?
Well, you can learn from everything. The first thing we learned, though, is that we were prepared, and all the processes that we have put in place over years worked. By the time they arrived, we were ready. The rooms were ready in the trauma center, and the rooms were ready upstairs in the operating room if we needed them. And all the resources were there. So as they rolled into the door, they were immediately taken care of. There was no delay at all in any of this. We know we've got some things we can continue to improve, and we will continue to look at this and learn from it. But I think overall, we can be incredibly proud of the performance of the team.
Are all of them and the rest of the other 2 in critical expect to survive?
Right now, we're very hopeful, yes.
Any idea on the timeline of when they might be able to be released? Or
No,
another?
you can't predict these types of things. I mean, it's serious injuries like this just take time, and you go day at a time.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.